so much more than I could even ever imagine. I'm just everyday thankful that I'm here now. Hi besties, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anusa, and today we are doing the second part of this beautiful series, Loving, because it is February, the month of love. Okay. My grandma always told me never to sing because I had a horrible voice. Okay, now today we are talking about how to love life. I've actually done a talk on this before, and after learning a couple of things, I wanted to redo this one. Let's talk about it. There are 4 different things I want to share with y'all. As somebody who has gone through periods of life and not loved it, these are some tips that I've picked up that have made me love life even more. So much more than I could even ever imagine. I'm just everyday thankful that I'm here now. The first one is making that change. I feel like this month we are touching so much uncomfortable content, so much things that hurt, that shake your core, that you're like, I'm hearing you, but I'm not hearing you because I actually don't want to implement this. Okay, making that change. We know that as humans, we love being comfortable. And as humans, we are technically, in our brain, it feels better for us to be comfortable than it is for us to have a change, because that is unfamiliar for us. Only when not changing feels more painful than being where we are is when we end up making that change. So for me, this was looking in my nursing career, when it was more painful for me to be at the hospital than for me to decide to do something else in life. That's when I decided to leave. Otherwise, if it wasn't that painful and I could just cruise through life that way, it would have taken more for me, because it would have been an uncomfortable process, because it would have been new for me to start looking for a job or deciding what new thing to do. Let me talk to you particularly. You. Yes, you. I know you want to make that change to your life. I know you want to do it. And I know that there might be things that are holding you back. I know you are the biggest thing that's holding you back. And I can't tell you how it might feel. I can just tell you when I did it, it felt uncomfortable. But I am growing to learn that the only way I can grow is in my uncomfort, my discomfort. And that's a very powerful thing. I'm learning that it's so important to be disciplined, and that I get to grow through this discomfort. But when I'm done with the discomfort, whatever was uncomfortable 2 months ago is now very comfortable for me, which is so beautiful. It's such a beautiful thing to feel that way. And I'm seeing my growth. And as humans, we don't like to stay stagnant at all. We feel our best when we're going somewhere. And I know you want to go somewhere. So we're going to have to pack up our big girl panties, tie them up, wrap them, boom. And then we're going to be like, I want to grow. I am comfortable being uncomfortable. Say that to yourself. I am comfortable being uncomfortable, because I know I'm going to grow through that uncomfort / that discomfort. So I'm willing to take that step to move on to the next chapter of my life. I want to love my life so bad. I am crying. I am crying from the inside. I am crying from the outside. There are so many ways that you are self-sabotaging, so many ways you are showing up. And you already know that you don't want this. So I want you to go for what you want. And I know it may hurt at first because it is the unfamiliar. It is new. But I want you to know that you'll be better because of it. That your future self will thank you for it. That your past self too will thank you for it. You've got to make that jump. I know it might hurt, but it's not going to hurt forever. No situation is ever permanent. I really want you to love this life that you're in, because we are here for a reason. And I'm hearing so much of how we chose to be on this earth. Like, we made that decision to go from the spiritual into the physical because we knew how fun it would be. We get to experience this beautiful realm. And I want you to love every second that you're here, or at least love a good chunk of it. So when you're ready, I need you to know that we are here for you. You are not here alone doing this. I know you want to love life so bad. There are people here for you, and you need to make that change. You need yourself to make that change, and I know you already know that. You got this, okay? When I was a child, I felt as though, actually, that's a lie. When you're a child, you actually know the truth. As you grow older, there are certain things that you hear that make you doubt the truth, and then you start believing something else. As a child, it was the small things. Your parents giving you permission to eat this candy that made you happy. It was literally like being in your mommy's arms that made you happy. You knew as a child that there were so many things that were the non-physical, that were the values, the qualities, the people you had around you, the things that weren't material, the things that cannot be measured. That's what made you happy. That's what made you feel content, fulfilled, love life. And you knew that as a child. But as you grew up, sometimes there may have been stories put on you. And then you began to feel, oh, well, maybe new clothes will make me feel better. You began to hear what other people were saying. Maybe new shoes, maybe a new car, maybe a new apartment, maybe a bigger space, maybe a bigger dog, maybe a bigger house might make me happier. And then you get to the point that you start to acquire things. And then you realize that this is nonsense. The new house is not making me feel happier. The new job is not making me feel happier. Do you know that there's this table, and I'm going to insert it here. When you look at the table, the money can't buy happiness. Money plateaus. There's a plateau at a certain point that with a certain income, and even if you raise that income, you experience the same level of happiness if no other factor changes, because there's a plateau. So at that point, money can't buy happiness. Leading up to that point, there is a certain amount of happiness that money can buy. Like, we want to be comfortable, we want to be stable. That's very important. We need to be financially secure. But once you plateau into the higher zone and you realize that there's a certain, like, money can't buy you happiness at that plateau, then you realize that to love life, you got to find content from within. You got to find content in who you are, what you do, the way you show up in the world. The things you do for yourself, the things you do for others, the qualities, the values, the time you spend with people. Humans love connection, and you know it. Every single one of you know that as humans, we cannot be islands. We are not made to be islands. That is just not how we work as humans. And so finding that content from within and loving others, being around people, loving life. I found that I loved life so much more when I found my contentness from within, knowing that if I got a new pair of shoes or a new house or a new car, it may have the initial buzz and excitement of the first couple of days. I'm like, yes, but then I'll end up returning to my baseline, and the happiness that I feel from within will always be the thing that lifts me up, that makes me love what I do, that makes me love people around me, that makes me love life. So once you get that into your head, you are unstoppable with the way you see life. Once you realize that truly being in love with life doesn't have to do with physical things, but it has to do with who you are on the inside and the people around you, and those qualities, those values, those different things that you feel, the emotions that we get to experience as humans, is when you start loving life. Sometimes we become so familiar with things that we do not experience the kind of joy that we used to experience before. And you can think of this in so many sections of life. Maybe you wanted a bigger house, and you got the bigger house, and now you're used to the bigger house, and now it didn't make you as happy as it did before because now you're used to it. And even the gift of waking up, the gift of having hands and legs, the gift of having eyes, you don't realize how a beautiful gift it is and how we use them for so much and how grateful we should be for everything. Your hands, your eyes, your legs, your organs, your senses, your taste, your smell, everything, until you lose it. And so a way of falling back in love with life is realizing what you have, but looking at it through a new, fresh set of eyes. So that coffee shop that you go to, the gym classes, the Pilates people that you see every single day, these classes that you get to show up in, the work that you get to show up in, when you take a step out of your body and you take a step back into it and you have a fresh new set of eyes, you can see how blessed you are. It helps you fall in love with what you have. It helps you to realize what you have in this life. It also gives you so much gratitude for what you get, for what you have, for this beautiful thing that you call life. One thing that also helps me fall in love with life is sitting down and writing these things down. So every night, every morning, I gratitude journal. It makes me so appreciative for the people around me. Not everybody has people they can talk to, who they can lean on, who they feel so comfortable in being their authentic self with. By sitting down, counting my blessings, taking accountability, thanking God, thanking the universe, thanking source for all these things, it's just so powerful. And I fall so much more in love with life. I don't take these things for granted anymore when I actually express gratitude for them and take into account what I have. And this just helps me fall so much more even in love with life. So sometimes if you feel like you're hating your life that you live, that everything is messed up, I want you to look around and see what you have. And I actually want you to look around and think about it, those things, how they're impacting you. Because we take so many things for granted if we are not looking. Last tip for falling in love with life is changing our mindsets and our attitude towards things. So sometimes when we wake up in the morning and we go to work, we'll be like, I have to go to work, ho ho ho, and we don't want to go. Or even school, like, I have to go to school, I have to do this homework. I found that this hack actually helps change things. It helps change your perspective and the way you feel about things. Saying, I get to go to the gym, I get to go to work and bring in income for my family and buy nice things. I get to go to school and learn and empower myself and give myself wisdom and knowledge. I get to interact with people every single day. It's so powerful saying I get to instead of I have to, because you may not have liked something as much before, but by saying I get to, it changes, it kind of tricks your mind, but it makes you believe that I actually get to do things, which is true. Have gratitude, boo. Have gratitude. You get to do these things. You actually get to do these things. Even though you may not like it in the moment, saying this tricks your mind, but it also makes you start to believe that you get to do these things. And when I say the more you focus on things, they expand, that gratitude expands. And you'll have so much more things to be grateful for. You'll be so much in love with the life you live. Life is you're supposed to derive joy from being on this earth. When did it get to the point where we hated being here? To wrap this up, I'm gonna tell you back the 4 ways that we can learn to love life. 1, make that change. You might be scared, but at the end, you're going to be so thankful you did it. 2, find content from within. Material, money things may give you a little burst of excitement for a couple days, but finding that content from within is what's actually going to make you love life. 3, experience life through a new set of lens. Sometimes we become so content and we forget and we don't even realize what we have because we've taken it for granted. So, new set of eyes. 4, change your mindset to a mindset of gratitude. So instead of saying I have to, you can say I get to. All right. Love y'all, besties. You're doing great. You're doing great. We're doing good. Good. Ooh, yeah. You're doing amazing. I'm proud of you. Smack that shit. You're doing so good. Okay. You're doing great. I'm gonna see you in the next episode. Hugs and kisses. Loves. Can't wait to hear how you love life. Yes. Yes.